Okay, so for today's video, I'm just going to do a full face, give you some tips and tricks that I've learned along the way. So we're going to start off with the Hourglass Veil Primer. This is my favorite primer, actually. So you only need like a little pea-size amount. And then I'm just gonna put it all over my face. Okay, so the first tip, I guess, if you want like a sharp line for your eyeshadow, tape. So you're just gonna rip off a piece and place it right along the edge of your eye in the angle you want the line to be. And since I do this step before my foundation and everything, some people do it after. However, if you put it on after, you're just gonna rip off your foundation. So the next trick, if you don't have eyeshadow primer, concealer. So you just take your concealer and just dab it right on your eyelid. And then I'm just going to take this little brush here and smooth it out. So in my opinion, concealer works just as good, if not better, than eyeshadow primer. Most of the time I don't even use eyeshadow primer, I just use my concealer. So don't feel like you have to use all these products when there's so many that are used for multiple things. So today we're going to go in with the new Colourpop Stone Cold Fox palette. And this is the sister palette to the one that came out last year, Bare Necessities. So even you can tell like by the packaging, this is the cooler tone, this is the warmer tones. So Bare Necessities looks like this. It's all warm tones. And then Stone Cold Fox is all cooler tones. I'm just gonna come on in so you can actually see what I'm doing. I'm just going to take a big fluffy brush and go in with, down here, Fascinated. Be so messy when you do this tape because not only does the tape catch and stop where you want that line, but you haven't done your foundation yet, so you can literally just take a cloth or a brush or a makeup wipe or whatever you so desire to wipe off all the fallout, and you won't ruin your foundation, so you can be as messy as you want, which is, I think, a huge benefit of this trick. Alright, and then I'm going to take a smaller fluffy brush. I think I'm going to go in with this color down here, Obsidian. So for this, just want to take a little bit on your brush and just go in, kind of tap it in just to the inner corner just to darken that and give it more dimension. And then tap it in and just bring it up into your crease. You know, just kind of blend it out a little bit. And I'm going to just bring it on your eyelid. Just about halfway. You don't want to go fully over because well, you're gonna cut the crease anyway. Well, I am. Cover this little corner. Okay, and then I get a lot of people that ask how I get these like foil duochrome shades on my lid. I do use a brush. So the best type of brush to use is either this kind of flat dome, or if you have like very small, fluffy, domey kind of looking brushes, those also work. I'll even go in with like a, I mean smaller than this fluffy, but a little fluffy brush. But the trick is to use concealer to cut the crease. So you can use concealer, again you could use eyeshadow primer. I use concealer. So what I do is I use this flat dome brush. I don't want to use this color. take a concealer. This is the Colourpop Pretty Fresh Concealer. And I will just go right off the doe foot. Get a good amount on my brush. And then a trick to cut out your crease is you just put a little bit of that concealer right on the edge of your eye and then look up. And you'll get a little line, and that's how you know how far to go up. So you just start in the inner corner, bring it right up to that line, and then blend it down. Doing this, you get the shadows a tackier base and something to stick to. So not only will they stick, but they'll show up better, they'll be more pigmented. You can do this as far over as you want. I typically do half creases, so I will stop about midway on my eyelid. And then, so we just cut the crease. What I'm going to do is go back in with Obsidian, that color I used in the inner corner there, put just a bit on my finger and go right over the edge of the concealer that we just put on. And this just blends in the concealer with the shadow that's already on your eye, so it's not as a harsh line. And when you go over with, you can do this with either a matte or a shimmer. We're going to do a shimmer today. It doesn't look as harsh, and it's more blended and unique, universal, but I don't know. Put together. It's more put together. So I'm going to go in with that flat dome brush, and I think I'm going to go in with this shade down here, Caving In. And I'm just going to take my brush, dip it right in, so I have the pigment on my brush. And then I'm just going to tap that right over the concealer that we just put down. And go right up to the edge of the line. And then just kind of bring it out over the edge that we just blended with the shadow from the concealer. And there you go. Then you have your half cut crease, and that's it. It's just that simple. And then if you wanted, you could even put a color over the line here to kind of blend it even more. But I'm calling that side good. So I'm going to quickly go do the other eye off camera, and then we will come back and keep going. Okay, so both eyes are done. So now we're just going to peel off maybe this tape. And when done correctly, you get the perfectly sharp line. And there you go. Perfect trick. I use it every time I want this sharp line. You can also just put your eyeshadow on, take a simple, let's see, like simple little flat edged brush like this, put it in foundation or concealer, and then just scrape right up. I feel like that's a lot of extra work, and the tape is so much easier, less messy, and then you don't have to worry about trying to draw a straight line. So what I'm going to do is take this nice little angled fluffy brush and just kind of wipe away all that fallout. Alright, and next is foundation, and I've actually discovered a lot of people didn't know this, but if you wet your beauty blender, you get such a better application and it doesn't absorb as much product. So we're just going to take the foundation right onto our beauty blender and dab it right on. And then you just want to be careful when you get close to your eyeshadow. Just be really careful, get as close as you can to the line you just made. Alright, and then you just want to take your beauty blender and blend down the edges from your jawline just so you don't have any harsh lines, and kind of blend the foundation in with your neck. And I look orange. Huh. I do. I look orange. Well. Okay. Alright, next tip, concealer. It is used for blemishes and whatnot, but mostly put it right under your eye to brighten up your face and give it more dimension. So to do this, you want to go at least one shade, if not 2 or 3 shades lighter than your foundation to brighten up your face. And then same thing, just take your beauty blender and blend it in. And be careful about that line. But if you can see, there's a bit more dimension to my face now. My eyes are brighter. Alright, and then this step is just personal preference. You can leave your foundation as it is, or you can set it with a setting powder. I get very oily and I don't like the look or the feeling of just foundation, so I'm going to be using the Hourglass Veil setting powder. And I'm just going to dab right in and put this right under my eyes so that my concealer doesn't crease. Alright, and then I'm just gonna put it right over my entire face. Alright, and I don't actually have a tip for brows, so I'm just gonna go in with my Anastasia Beverly Hills brow pomade and my little brow brush from Morphe, and I'm just gonna put those on. Okay, so I've had a lot of people ask me, or tell me that they don't know where to put, contour, and they don't know where to apply it on your face. So I'm going to be using the Too Faced Cocoa Contour Palette, and I'm just going to dip right in. And what you want to do is you want to see this little section right here, your cheekbone. You want to go just under that. So there should be kind of right where your ear starts, there should be a bit of a shadow already. If you can see that, that is where you want to start to apply. So you just want to blend it right in. And then I also go up towards my brow as well. So if you can start to see, there's a bit of a shadow on that side, so it looks a bit more dimensional on that side. So what you want to do to figure out how to put contour places is find where there's shadows. So you see there's a shadow on your jawline, underneath your cheekbone. If you want something to appear smaller, you want to put a shadow, so that's where you put your contour. And now there is a difference between bronzer and contour. You don't want to put bronzer in these areas because typically bronzer has more of a shimmer sparkle to it. It's supposed to give you more of a sun-kissed type of look. So I don't think I have a bronzer anymore. I think I used it all, but I typically just don't use a bronzer. And then I also put some contour on my forehead to make my big ass forehead look smaller. And now there are so many different, obviously there's different shades of contour, but there's different tones as well. So most palettes have a warmer tone contour to them. Personally, I like a cooler tone, so if you're looking for a cooler tone palette, Too Faced Cocoa Contour is the best one I found for a cooler tone contour. And then on this little small side, I'm just going to dip in and go right on the side of my nose. And this will give the illusion of a smaller nose. All right. And then for blush, going in with the tried and true Lunar Beauty Moon Prism Blush palette, I'm going to go in with this color Stargaze, and where you want to put that is if you smile, you can see this like little ball here. You want to go right on that and then just bring it up by your eyebrow. Okay, for highlighter, going in with the Jaclyn Cosmetics palette, the Flare. I'm gonna go in with this shade right here. And right where you put that blush, I put it right over that. Not all the way down, but just about third into my eye. And just nice little circle motions, and then you can see it there. So same thing, and then I bring it back a little bit. And then I also, right down the middle, in between where I just put the contour on my nose, I'll put a little highlight there, and then just on the little ball of my nose. Alright, so I just threw on some mascara before I put on lashes, and as you can see, I touched the wand to my nose. So it's been a few seconds, so once it's dry, you just take a Q-tip. Alright, so you get the majority. And then I'm just going to use the beauty blender that I used for concealer and just dab right over it. And then that covers it up. But since I put highlighter there and it's gone now, I just blend it in, I'm just going to go right back over that and put it back on. And then you're good to go. So I'm going to be using these Morphe lashes in the shade Go On and Fake It. So what you do, I've already used these before, but if you have a brand new pair, typically you take them out of the box, hold it up to your eye, measure it. You may or may not have to cut a little bit off. If you do, cut from the edge. Don't go in from the beginning of your eye. Then take your lash glue. I have Duo. And then just go right across the top of your lash. This one goes on blue. Then you want to just blow on it and get a pair of tweezers and just bend it a little bit. This makes it easier to conform to your eye. And you don't want to put it on as soon as you put the lash glue on. You want it to be tacky. It'll stick better, and it should go on right as soon as you apply it, so you're not messing around with it. Alright, and once it's pretty tacky, what you're going to do is take it, put it right in the middle of your lash, and then press it down from there. So I'm going to stick it right into the middle, and so it's stuck right in the middle, but neither edges are down. And then I'm going to start on the outside and press that side down. And then I'm just going to take this and press it, grab it, and press it right down to the front. Then I'm just gonna go over the band, keep pressing it onto my eye, and make sure that the whole thing is stuck on. And then there you go, you got your lash on. It does take practice. Do it a few times. There is a trick actually. If you put the glue on the lash, stick the lash on your eye, take it off for a second, and then put it back on, I've heard that it sticks perfectly. You don't have to mess with it. But I'm going to go put this one on now. Okay, so both lashes are on, and that is it. So if you're looking a little cakey, you don't really like how your foundation, your base is looking, not only is setting spray good to just lock everything in, but it's also good to melt the powder and the liquids together. So I just do a spray, or a few sprays, and then just let it sink in, and it really kind of brings everything together. And that is it. That is all of my tips and tricks and the new Colourpop Stone Cold Fox palette. Obviously, it's a great palette. I love it. I love all their palettes. The Bare Necessities was a great palette. I use that for almost all my weddings. And there you have it. So, hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.